Why are there so many gambling ads on your algorithm? Feels like every other video has a not so subtle ad for some casino app squeezed in amongst the content.
Day one of giving an Asian money until I get a fucking happy ending. Go to Vegas, the best place to play slots online. I love Vegas.
This is the day in the life of an unemployed stoner. My job is very easy, fraud. I commit a lot of it, and it makes me a fuckload of money.
We've spoken to influencers who are part of a flourishing shadow economy.
You know, they were offering X amount of money, and I realized I've been making these videos for free. I'm finally getting a chance where I could be paid for it. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take it.
Making a living advertising illegal offshore crypto casinos to young audiences.
I had one guy offer me 50 grand for 10 stories. I said, is this gambling? He's like, yeah. I said, no, I don't do it.
Our investigation even found one massive up-and-coming influencer was promoted as the visionary entrepreneur and founder behind a new offshore crypto casino operated by an Iranian rapper turned casino operator. Australia is fertile ground for illegal offshore crypto casinos. We are the biggest per capita gamblers in the world, and the illegal offshore gambling market has more than doubled since 2019, with Australians losing almost $4 billion a year to illegal sites. But why is this industry so pervasive? And who stands to benefit from it? Join us in the weird world of degenerate content. We're in Sydney to meet a crew of up-and-coming degen creators, shorthand for what they call degenerate content, a mix of public humiliation, rage bait, shock value stunts, and other algorithmically optimized content designed to hijack attention. Do you make brain rot content?
I guess so. Yeah, it's a bit brain rot. Shout out brain rots.
What's the craziest video you guys have ever made?
It's like the train one. The train one.
Put it up on the screen now. That one just blew Josh made that video. The next day, he's on the news as a jackass jester.
Sydney commuters have been forced to watch performance art take place on a train with a teenager filmed hanging from the handrails in a carriage.
This group of degen creators have gained thousands of followers and millions of views.
Another beautiful day in Sydney.
We joined them as they filmed a bunch of stunts aimed at publicly humiliating themselves on Sydney's main thoroughfare.
I'm just gonna be walking and then just spray. Yeah. Hey guys, this is the piss cannon tutorial. Oh, it's a fucking piece, mate. Sorry, mate. You signed up for it. I don't know what you fucking want of me. Oh, yeah. Jesus Christ.
Two 19-year-old creators we spoke to who use the online names Joshua Cherub and Morgan Behemoth tell us they can make a living from this type of content by advertising illegal offshore crypto casinos. Joshua and Morgan's style of content takes inspiration from 2000s era media like Jackass, but they also credit a childhood spent online.
People like me, people like Morgan, we were all like kids who grew up on the internet. We're not on forums or anything anymore. You're getting flashbanged with information constantly. And I feel like it at one point you just kind of snap. Eventually I got to a point where it's I'm gonna just do this. I'm gonna just make a fool of myself. I'm gonna make some money. I'm gonna get some views.
Why is it so important to you?
Why is it so important to me?
Yeah.
The views and the money, or just?
Yeah, views and money.
I don't know. I think I didn't really come from much. I grew up in Western Sydney. You know, I was exposed to a lot of bad stuff as a child, you know, fights, stabbings, shit like that, you know. And you just kind of get hungry to prove something.
Did you think that you were going to be able to monetize this when you first started making it?
No, not really. I just kind of started it because it was funny, you know.
Bro, that's fire.
Dude, just straight in the mouth.
That's fire.
So good. Stop even a sec, mate. What was in that bottle?
Water?
Just water?
Yeah.
All right, okay. Coloured water. All right, no drama.
And what are the brand deals with?
Just gambling companies.
When they did reach out, what was your immediate response?
Fuck off.
Yeah.
For the first couple of people. Yeah. I remember when I first started, I told myself I'd never do that kind of thing. I didn't want to sell out, you know? Yeah. And
Joshua and Morgan play a small role in a large-scale social media campaign that floods your algorithm with ads for illegal offshore crypto casinos. One of the most pervasive brands is Rainbet, registered in Curacao, a small island in the Caribbean. They enlist influencers that attract a following of young, impressionable men with potentially volatile behavior.
The gambling partner wants them to make a video that gets a bunch of views, and what better way to get views than cheap rage bait?
Their online reach is broad, locking in brand deals with massive US streamer Ahern.
All right, I got $100 million up front. Rainbet sent me 100 M's up front.
and more niche, localized content creators. Morgan told us he promoted Rainbet, while Joshua promoted another similar casino app. In most videos, the influencer will be placing a bet on the app.
I've got 2 accounts. I just ask them to chuck some money in and they put it in, and then I can just do like $500 bets on blackjack and I don't lose anything.
Joshua and Morgan tell us they're paid with crypto. The casino pays them for each post that they make that features the branding. Another popular method of monetization used amongst influencers is to feature a referral link for the casino in their bio that attracts a bonus. But the influencer will actually be making money off the losses of each of their followers for the lifetime of that user's account. Joshua and Morgan don't use this method of monetization. Rainbet is illegal in Australia, and so is advertising it. But some influencers we spoke to seem somewhat unconcerned or unaware of that. Did they assure you about the legality of it all?
No.
No.
They kind of just told me, remove, your location on Instagram and it'll be fine.
You never talk to a lawyer about it or
I mean, I won't comment on that. I refuse to comment. I'm sorted.
Influencers can face penalties of almost $60,000. And those who facilitate access, such as by giving hyperlinks, can face penalties of almost $2.5 million. ACMA, the body tasked with regulating illegal gambling ads, tell us they're actively looking at a number of social media influencers in relation to potential breaches of the law, but no one has ever been fined for promoting an illegal offshore crypto casino. For smaller degen creators like Joshua and Morgan, it seems like a big risk for not much reward. What sort of money are we talking about?
For one video, like hundreds of dollars, I think below 500.
Okay. And so for multiple videos, it could be several $1,000s.
Yeah.
Okay. But for degen creators with much bigger platforms, offers from illegal offshore crypto casinos can mean serious money. One creator, a 20-year-old Adelaidean known as Chrogman, or Christian Caven, gained over 1 million followers in under 3 months by challenging strangers and internet celebrities to street fights.
Day 31 of fighting my followers till I get knocked the fuck out. Today's competitor, Andrew Tate. Let's run it, baby.
His content's popular with teenagers and young men, making him an ideal promoter for offshore crypto casinos. We've been given access to dozens of private messages sent by Chrogman that give us some insight into how much money degen creators can make. Only 6 weeks after he started making content, Chrogman bragged to a friend that he could earn up to $100,000 a month promoting Rainbet, but was worried it would impact his reputation. At the time, Chrogman was experiencing a meteoric rise in fame.
You guys seen that kid on Instagram who goes, day 14 of fighting my followers till I get knocked the fuck out?
The internet praised his authenticity and bravery, often risking arrest while fighting outside famous tourist attractions. It wasn't long until Chrogman came under fire, after he shared a post promising to pay off his followers' debts, only to auto-reply with a link to a new offshore crypto casino, brandishing his face and name called Betnana.com.
Alright gang, today Betnana is doubling everyone's deposit. If you, I don't know, as you can see, I put 1,000 in.
Chrogman seems to have a deeper relationship with Betnana than your typical affiliate would. In a video from January, Chrogman talks about meeting an Iranian rapper turned casino operator, Pooyan Mokhtari.
I just got a DM from a billionaire. I just saw your fight with Andrew Tate. Let's fight on my super yacht in Dubai. Get the Lamborghini yacht to the super yacht, start beating the fuck out of each other. Stay at the mansion for like 2 more weeks, do some business together. Now he's like one of my closest homies. What a fucking great video.
Pooyan is the owner of Vatan, a platform promising to help clients create their own crypto casino. He's attracted controversy in Iran, with one cybercrime expert we spoke to telling us he was issued an Interpol red notice for running dubious gambling sites. Vatan is the host and operator of Betnana, and Chrogman is the face of the brand. His name and likeness is featured on Vatan's website, and he's listed as the visionary entrepreneur and founder behind the site. The website even claims Chrogman has a vision for a dominant platform. DMs we saw between Chrogman and another degen creator even suggest Chrogman was trying to build a team of content creators that would promote the site. The question I have is, how deep do these kind of arrangements actually go? I decided to visit Melbourne to meet a content creator who might be able to shed some light on how and why these offshore crypto casinos use influencers to push their brand. We meet at a restaurant owned by a popular Australian comedy trio who've been mentoring him. Big Vincenz, whose real name is also Christian, makes content about partying, girls, Italian culture, and multicultural relations in Australia. It's not really degen content, but it does attract an audience of young men. And with a following of almost 200,000 across platforms, he's been offered large brand deals with illegal offshore crypto casinos.
I was interstate. I had one guy offer me 50 grand for 10 stories.
So they're not even posts?
No, they're stories. 2 weeks prior to that, I had 15 grand from another guy, because they know my demographic is, that my audience is probably perfect.
Christian showed us one of these offers, sent to him by a popular Australian podcaster.
And he goes, hey man, did you want to make, some money? I said, well, yeah, I'm interested. What do you got? And he's like, oh, quick money, 15 grand, we'll give you it for 10 stories. And I said, mate, I go, no. I said, is this gambling? He's like, yeah. I said, no, I don't do it.
Christian told us he lost between $300,000 to $400,000 due to a gambling addiction in his early 20s.
Ridiculous. The things that you get up to when you're trying to feed your addiction can be really, unhuman, really. I felt like I was the devil. That's how I saw myself. It wasn't me, I felt like I was the devil.
Do you have any concerns at all that the people that are watching your videos will then go on to gamble?
No, not really. I mean, speaking for myself, whenever I see that kind of stuff, I'm just like, oh, I think it's just a natural part of the video. I seriously, we try not to glamorize it too much,
Fuck having a 9 to 5. Fuck going to work. We're on Patreon.com. I'm trying to get the Labubu.
It's like a contractual obligation, But yeah, I guess maybe someone would. I'm never gonna rule out that possibility. I guess that's something I kind of have to live with.
You really feel like there's a good possibility that your stories would encourage people
100%. Yeah. I believe so, yeah. I've seen other content creators that have actually had the same addiction and then they're there advertising, and I've sort of lost a lot of respect for them, to be honest. How can you know that what you've gone through and then be happy and willing to put other people through it? It just blows my mind out.
Most degen creators merely provide an audience to advertise for illegal offshore crypto casinos for a set price. But evidence we've seen suggests Chrogman was more intimately involved with the operations of Betnana. Beyond being named the site's founder, attempting to recruit others to promote it, and I guess wearing a banana suit.
The banana costume's actually hilarious.
Private messages shared with us give a deeper insight into Chrogman's involvement with Betnana. In them, Chrogman personally coaches a Filipino user, who we're calling Juan, on how to deposit money into the site. We're obscuring Juan's identity because online gambling is illegal in the Philippines. These messages span several months, and they paint a clear picture. Chrogman isn't just a promoter. He's acting as a conduit, feeding users bonuses, strategies, and deals, all designed to keep them betting. Juan ends up depositing tens of thousands of dollars, and he actually ends up winning. Then, out of nowhere, his account's frozen. $40,000 or 60,000 Australian disappears from his balance. Juan's not the only one either. Chrogman tells Juan that multiple people have reached out to him saying their money is frozen, and online the reviews are really bad. When we went to the website to look at the terms and conditions, we found that Betnana provides many reasons why they can confiscate your money. The most common reason users we spoke to were given was that they were playing from a country where online gambling is illegal. But the site doesn't flag these terms when depositing money. Others include if there's a malfunction in the game or suspicion of wrongdoing, terms they can define themselves and can change whenever they like. Juan does end up getting his money back. He tells us it was only after he threatened legal action against Chrogman himself. Others we spoke to have not been able to receive their winnings or their deposit. Whatever the nature of Chrogman's role at Betnana, he's clearly the one bearing the brunt of the backlash. So Chrogman stops promoting the site. He tells Juan that he's no longer working with them and instead moves back to Rainbet.
Ling, how much fucking money did you put on roulette? 20 grand on black box. Oh, what the fuck, Ling?
Clearly the allure of quick and easy money through brand deals with offshore crypto casinos is enticing to many content creators. But back in Sydney, I feel like the boys we spoke to were unsure if it aligned with their morals.
When I started, I was like, I don't want to do gambling. I really don't, just because I view gambling, especially pokies, and that just like a drain on the working class pocket. And that's why I really don't agree with gambling at all. But then it got to the point where, they were offering X amount of money, and I realized I've been making these videos for free for people. I'm finally getting a chance where I could be paid for it. And I was like, I'm gonna take it.
But everyone has a price.
Everyone has a price, 100%, because I think at the end of the day, this has become a job for me now. When I first started, it's like, oh, let's go do some funny stuff with my friends. But now I kind of wake up, it's like, oh, I gotta go to work. Everyone's gonna make a living.
Not everyone in Joshua Morgan's group agrees with the promotion of gambling though. Roger Rari, the biggest creator of the group, rejects it altogether. You don't feel a desire to monetize it?
Nah. Well, yeah, some of my other friends like Joshua and Morgan, they do gambling stuff.
I do want to monetize it, but like I don't really like gambling.
And what's your apprehension towards the gambling sponsors?
It's just not something I mess with, you know.
Yeah.
Because I want to put out like a positive like message or positive like impact, and gambling just like, but to me that's just like not it.
To me, it feels like the gambling promotion, it kind of contradicts with a lot of the reasons why Joshua and Morgan started making this kind of content in the first place.
I feel like I'm just kind of fighting to exist, you know? And I think this like form of expression is me like fighting, like, hey, look at me, like I exist, you know, and I'm like here, and I'm not really like gonna go anywhere. It's kind of also like a form of therapy, you know, like exposure therapy. Before I started this, like I sucked at talking to people, you know, like I couldn't hold conversations, I never left my house. But then you just kind of like expose yourself to all this like crazy shit, and you realize that it doesn't really matter. You take any like nerdy little shy kid and you make him do like all this shit, like all of his like worries about like how people perceive him, they just kind of fade, you know? And then once all those like social like conceptions just kind of fade, you can just kind of go do what you want.